Hello, I'm Ike Eastman. Today's gear review is on the Eberlestock Just One pack. This is their new version. The original version, Glen Eberle designed from his experience as an Olympic biathlete. Now, the original had a lot of cool benefits, but this is just new and improved. There's new fabrics. It's got the ripstop fabric. It's got some stretch fabric on it, and they moved some stuff around. So the original Just One was designed by Glen Eberle way back in like 2005. I got to sit down with Glen here recently on my podcast, Eastman's Journal Podcast Edition, and talk about his Olympic experience, his fighter pilot experience, and everything he has done in his life. Plus, we dive into the design of the original Just One and his building of this company, Eberlestock.
So I was a junior captain at United on September 11th. In that moment that day, I decided that I was going to start this gear company that I'd built in my head in 1985, and through 87, I'd really kind of thought it all through and explored it and designed my first pack in 1987. And I built them for myself in the squadron parachute shop through the 90s, and I had some pretty cool ideas sitting there, you know, the rifle scabbard in a pack and expandable packs to carry elk out of the woods if you were by yourself, like I usually was. And so I had all that stuff there, and I was really hungry for it. But then on September 11th, I was awake, and I decided, okay, man, I mean, my first impulse was to go back and get back in the A-10 and go to war, because I knew we were going to do that. But I was like, you know, I've been in and out of that enough. I should actually do this other thing, you know, sort of as a defensive maneuver, you know, for myself and my family, but also because I felt like there was, I really, at that time I had rifle designs that were unique, and I thought my first goal was to build a sniper rifle that killed Osama bin Laden. I was like, I want to make those guys things that they need, you know, and so it turns out I didn't do that, but I built some pretty cool rifles. You know, the first chassis guns that I'd ever heard of came out of my head, and a local machine shop here. But I also had these pack ideas, and so figured out how you make backpacks. I'd had a friend who later had become the president of the North Face, and so I called him up and asked him where to go to make packs, and he told me, and it led me to some people that helped me, you know, figure out how to turn a concept into a commercially producible design. And a couple years later, we had some pretty good product coming off the line, and I was figuring out how you build a company, but also really kind of, you know, I worked hard. I bootstrapped it. I didn't have much money to put into it.
So let's go through some of the changes that they made on the Just One. Everything from pockets to the fabric that they're using to this cool, I want to show you this before I take it off. This is one of the most innovative things. Have you ever tried to put a backpack on and you're sliding like this? Well, look what they've done. You push against yourself, and you can get this thing so tight you can't breathe. This is a really interesting way, and it's you can adjust it as you're changing load. As you guys know, when you're carrying heavy load, you don't want to keep it in the same place. You kind of adjust the pinch points. So this allows you to do it really quick on the fly as you're walking. So let's look at some of the different pockets. Not only is that really neat, but they moved the scabbard. You can see I have my Savage here. They moved the scabbard to be, rather than be on one side of the pack, they moved it to the center. So your weight of your gun, which is typically the heaviest thing in your pack, is right down the center of your backpack. So it's equally distributed on both of your shoulder harnesses. So that's one cool thing. The other cool deal that they did is they changed some of the fabrics to make it lighter. This is a little bit lighter than the original Just One because they used ripstop fabric. And this is one of my favorite. This fabric is stretch. So it actually stretches so you can move and pull stuff, put more stuff in it than it's really meant for. The original Just One had one strap that went down the center. They've went to two straps so that you actually have what I'm calling a meat shelf. When you fill this full of meat, you can pull this up to keep that jelly, which meat turns into like jelly type consistency, and you can compress it with a meat shelf on the bottom. So that's neat. Also, the top pack slightly different. Two pockets. This is the pocket I use for stuff that you're constantly getting after, you know, flashlights, knives, that type of stuff. And then you have a bigger pocket, like I have my filtration in here, some more bullets, that type of thing. and it's all easily accessible. You don't have to get into the main compartment of the backpack in order to access it. Now, compression straps. This is a cool thing. One of the things that annoys me about most packs is when you put a water bottle. I'm not a water bottle guy. I'm a bladder type guy. But if you put a water bottle in here and you have a compression strap and it compresses everything across that, then you can't get your water bottle in and out without undoing the compression strap. So it's not easy to do as you're walking. Well, they redesigned it and put the compression straps underneath the water bottle holder, still in there, but underneath it so that you can access the water bottle while it's compressed. That's pretty cool. You still have the 2 side pouches, just like the original Just One. This fits spot and scopes. I got a safety kit, stuff like that. Everything you would really need. Lots of space, lots and lots of space. This is a around 4,100 cubic inch backpack. Compressed down, it's about 1,900. It's about the same size as the original, just rearranged a little bit. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't remember, if you weren't around in the early 2000s when the Just One came out that Glen designed, you didn't know this pack doesn't look like 4,100. Well, look at this expansion. This expands with a net out to 4,100 cubic inches. So it goes from an 11 inches wide backpack to almost 15 inches once it's fully full. Now, drawstring top, so easily and quietly accessible. Meat bags, and you have all your camo, all that stuff in here. Once again, it all compresses down. You zip that up. Life is good. Inside, well, this is where you have a compartment for your bladder. Obviously, it has a strap to hold it to keep it from compressing to the bottom of the backpack. It's got a hole for your bladder hose to come out, put on your strap. And then, of course, the scabbard, which is a little bit bigger. It's about 30 cubic inches bigger than the original one. As you guys all know, we're starting to hunt with a lot more stuff, bigger turrets. We have obviously handles. You need a little bit more room inside of that backpack scabbard to fit all the accessories we got rolling around on our rifles. Other thing that it comes with is an adjustable yoke. So you can adjust this yoke if you're really small, like probably kid size actually, really small, all the way up to the 6'4" guys that I have working for me, the pack horses. You can adjust that yoke depending on how tall you are from your shoulder to your waist. And then of course the waist belt, you can adjust it, you can replace it, and it's really well padded. The other thing that they did is they changed the original Just One just had 2 aluminum stays as a frame. This has a full frame, Eberlestock backpack, aluminum frame, and it moves, but it's a lot more rigid. So packing meat, packing heavy loads, it is the original Just One, but way better. So check it out, eberlestock.com, and look for the Just One. If you're not into modularity and the pack system like the mainframe is, this might be the only pack you ever need to buy. Check out my podcast for some of the back history, as well as some of the cool things that Glen's done in his life. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification so you get gear reviews just like this. And we also put a ton of hunting content. Bulls dying, bucks dying, you name it. It's all on our YouTube channel, Eastman's Hunting Journal YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, and thanks for watching.